It's not just red meat, because I know people who eat a ton of it and their cholesterol is fine too. I am a big believer that it is the sugar that causes all of this.
Welcome to the Project My Life podcast from Monetti Productions.
What's up, guys? We're back with another episode. My name is Anthony Monetti.
I'm Karen Monetti.
And this is the Project My Life podcast. We're back with another episode. And I want to thank you guys for listening. Those of you who have listened, we see you. We watch you watching us and listening to us, and we really appreciate it. So I just want to dive into some personal stuff this week and you know, talk about some personal stuff that I have going on. Let me get my words right in my head. But I'll just jump into it. I have high cholesterol for the first time ever in my life. I did blood work recently. When was it? Earlier in the year? Maybe like 6 months ago?
Blood work?
Yeah.
No, you just did it like a month ago.
Was it that soon ago? All right.
Well,
time flies, and I don't keep track of it. So I did it in 2020, and I was, just to give some context, I was, you know, primed up. COVID happened, and some people went one way as far as eating and drinking and, you know, letting their health go. I went the other way, and I tightened up everything I could tighten up. I controlled the controllables. I was eating great. I was sleeping awesome. Workouts were on point. I just felt great. My weight dropped. I was 190 pounds, which is like 5 to 7 pounds above competition weight, but it was a good, healthy weight for me, and I was just feeling good. Got my blood work done. All the numbers were perfect. Literally, I was like, wow, this is great. And then my dad passed, and we've had some stuff go on personally in our life. Stress of building the business back up, and recently, Karen says a month ago, I got my blood work done, and I was very surprised with the cholesterol. My blood sugars were good, right? Mm-hmm. My blood pressure was good.
Everything was good.
Everything was good except the LDLs. So those of you who don't know, LDL is the one cholesterol that you should be paying attention to most. Am I correct with that, Karen? You should be paying attention to all of them. But LDL means low density lipoproteins, right? And you have the HDL, which I refer to that as the happy, right? Those are the happy cholesterols. So those for me, the HDLs were really good, but it's weird how it works. The LDLs were not so good. Mm-hmm. So I don't like to see that, because that's a sign of, like, if you don't pay attention to it, there's more things that are going to, you know, kind of stumble or stack up against that. So, all right, I want to dive into it. I have the best nutrition coach in the world here, and we're going to dive into it. And I have some questions, and I'm literally going to ask questions as a 4-year-old, because this stuff is confusing, because I just thought, like, you have high cholesterol or you don't. I didn't know that I can have one good number and one bad number, and how, like, that can affect.
That's why they call it a ratio.
Let's call it a ratio. Okay, so let's dive into it, Karen. Let's just first of all talk about the LDLs and what that means, and talk to me.
So LDL, low density, think of them as like cotton candy. Like, they're really sticky types of lipids, right? So
give me a visual. What does it look like?
Like cotton candy. It's like sticky, and like it's not compact, and these
floating through your
they float through your veins. Float through your veins and your arteries, and this is the stuff that builds plaque, and plaque is just a buildup on your arterial wall, and then it makes the pathway harder and harder to get through, right? So plaque is a buildup, and that's what causes, like, heart attacks, strokes, stuff like that, because blood can't flow through easily. So LDLs are the ones that get stuck. They're very sticky.
You would think it would be the opposite. High density, you would think.
Well, think about it. High density,
it's
they're
compact.
really dense, compact. They're like
you.
marbles. They're smooth, they're compact, and they float very freely through. But if you have a lot of plaque on your arteries, even the HDLs won't be able to get through them very nicely. So.
All right, so LDL, not good, low density, sticky, cotton candy, stick to the arteries, and they make it difficult for the blood to pass through, right? If too much of it collects.
Anything to pass through, yeah.
If too much of it, boom, now you have a blockage.
And that's when people have to get stents and bypasses sometimes in the heart, right? Like, you've heard of double, triple. Your dad had a triple bypass.
But he also had his first heart attack when he was like 55 or something like that. And he had to get 2 stents put in. Now, again, my dad didn't live the healthiest of lives. I mean, he was in shape at one point, and he used to run, but he used to like kind of like coffee and cigarette diet
and a lot of alcohol and a lot of sugar.
He partied and he worked his butt off. So that was also a contributing factor. So I thought it was mostly lifestyle. Is it hereditary, number one?
It can be, yes.
It can be hereditary.
It can be hereditary because your body literally, genetically speaking, your body may not be able to break down the cholesterol properly. Like that's actually been proven too. So most cases that we see though is all related to diet. Right. It really doesn't have much to do with their genetics specifically. But I have met with people and I have known people who they genetically, no matter how well they eat, and I'm talking long term, even exercise, they always have high cholesterol because their body just can't break it down.
I guess it's safe to say that if you check all the boxes of all the things that you're doing correctly, right? Like eating, getting all your essential fatty acids in, and you're doing all the right things, exercising, and you're sleeping, and you have, a good handle on your stressors in your life. If you're doing all these things, checking off the boxes, and then you still have it, it's safe to say that it might be some kind of genetic thing, or hereditary. Okay, cool. So that's LDLs. Now the HDLs are...
We just talked about them. They're the high density. They're like the marbles. They float freely. You want a good amount of those in your system.
Why do you need both? Can't you just have happy ones? HDLs?
No, you need the balance of both. It's actually good because you do need to eat some type of saturated fat too. It does give different minerals.
Interesting. So, all right. So that the ratio is what they're looking at when you do the test.
So you have your total cholesterol, right? Which is a breakdown of your HDL, LDL, and non-LDL cholesterol. And then there's the ratio. But yeah, your overall cholesterol is the total of all that. And then you have something called triglycerides too. Triglycerides are the ones that that's a ticking time bomb. If those are high, you really got to pay attention to that. In my opinion, more than even anything else.
What do those look like?
So I don't know what they actually look like, but triglycerides are the types of cholesterol. I don't know how to explain it really. This is how I usually explain it. So triglycerides are formed from the industrial process. It's actually not like really natural. It's anytime we add hydrogen into our foods and we have like partially hydrogenated oils or anything like boxed or industrialized or processed will cause our triglycerides to go up. And that's the stuff that will literally cause like heart attacks.
How was mine, by the way? I'm sorry.
Yours were low.
They were low.
Yours
so
were really
good.
low. Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that was high was the LDLs.
Yeah.
Which is what we need to...
Yeah, you need to address that.
Now, here's the thing, guys. I mean, has my diet been perfect? Absolutely not. Is it better than like, I would say 95% of the people in America? I mean, I'm braggadocious right now, but generally we eat really healthy, right? But I think that the physical is so important to me, how I look, right? So if I eat foods that are easy and simple, and I always talk about it, make a diet that's simple, that you can maintain, that it's going to be sustainable. So for me, I have my bananas, I have my oatmeal, I have my cream of rice, I have my eggs, chicken, vegetables, and handfuls of nuts here and there, maybe a few extra handfuls of nuts, sugars. So the controversy is it red meat or is it sugars that causes these LDLs and the ratio to not be in a healthy state? I was doing the same diet I was doing in 2020, maybe exercising a little bit more back then, and maybe my diet wasn't as perfect as it was. My diet now isn't as perfect as it was back then. So where do you stand from a nutrition standpoint, Karen? Is it red meat? Like right now, if I have high cholesterol, somebody who's listening, do I cut red meat out? Do I cut sugars out? Do I just modify my current diet but add some different things into it and work on more of trying to get the body fat down and trying to be in a healthier state? Because right now I'm on the top end of I have a 10-pound window. I should be anywhere from 190, 192 to, at the very, very top end, 200, 202. And I'm 199. I did drop a few pounds because I got a little bit like, all right, dude, time to bring the reins in and trying to tighten up. So I dropped my carbs, and I'm adding some different things that you suggested to help my LDLs come down, and to also, create a healthy balance with the essential fatty acids. So, long-winded question: is it sugar or is it red meat, Karen?
It is both.
Both.
But
I don't have that much red meat.
Yeah, we do. We have more red meat than we used to, but
yes,
that's
we
fine.
do. Yes, we do.
But It's not just red meat, because I know people who eat a ton of it and their cholesterol is fine too. I am a big believer that it is the sugar that causes all of this, because when you're eating a lot of sugar and your blood sugar's up and you're producing insulin and you're not stable, your metabolism's not working properly, you're literally not metabolizing your food right, and throw in lack of sleep and high stress and cortisol levels. Like, there's so much that goes into it, but the sugar's the start of it. It's not just the red meat. Now, if you were eating red meat 5 times a day, every single day, I would say, probably got to pull that back a little bit. But I am a big believer that it is your sugars for sure. But now, again, it's also factors of sleep and stress that cause it too, because you're not metabolizing even what you're eating properly. If you're not sleeping, recovering, and if your stress levels are not at a good point.
I mean, the past 6 months, I've been averaging probably 3.5 to 5 hours of sleep a night.
And that's going to cause it too. That's going to contribute, not cause it. It will help contribute.
And it's interrupted sleep. It hasn't even been good quality sleep at that. So
thanks, Cheech.
Excuse me. Yeah, Cheech is 18 years old and he likes to get up in the middle of the night, and we get scared that he's going to poop in the bed. So we bring him outside.
Or fall off the bed.
So that's very, we try to be as attentive as possible for him. So, all right, cool. I had a question about the fats, because there's some carnivore diets. There's some people I follow, some Dr. Sean Baker, I think his name is, carnivore. I don't even see a vegetable coming in anywhere of his social media feed.
That's what you see on social media.
Correct.
What are they doing outside of the posting? You don't know.
Right. He created the carnivore diet, and I probably he created the book or wrote the book. I should probably look into that. But he's on the far end of the spectrum and says like it's all about the carbs and the sugars in your body.
I am gonna say like I'm in that one like 85-90% too.
I get in line with that, right? But then we watch the Game Changers, and I get a bunch of people asking me like, "What do you think about the Game Changers?" Like there's athletes who don't eat any red meat, and they're all vegetables, and they're all carbs, and they're all beans, and all these things that are on the other end of the spectrum, and they don't eat any meat. So I'm like, I don't know. I like eating meat. I think there's benefit to it. So I'm more like middle of the road. Like the pendulum shouldn't be swinging each side too extreme. Somewhere in the middle, a balanced diet of everything. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't
definitely a balanced diet.
So more for the sugars though. If I were to eliminate my sugars, drop my carbs, which I did.
If you were to drop your body fat.
Drop your body fat.
That would help.
So that's going to become.
And the sugars.
You saying I'm fat?
No.
All right. So why do you want to get divorced, Karen? So if you were to say that Karen's divorced me because I'm fat, you heard that?
Wait.
Live on the air. I'm only kidding.
No. Don't start putting that out there. You're going to get a lot of hate mail from this one.
Oh, well, I'm sure I'm going to get it no matter
Absolutely not.
All right. So yes, drop the body fat. And I do feel like when your body's primed up, but if you're doing it without having we can still lose body fat and get to a healthy body fat percentage while eating good healthy fats.
Sure.
While eating good healthy carbs.
Sure.
While still eating good meats.
Sure.
Or proteins coming from lean meats.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I think also you have to focus on eating unsaturated fats a little bit more.
Give me an example of what that looks like.
Personally, I don't see you eat enough of.
Okay. What's unsaturated?
Unsaturated fats are... So these are the ones you want a lot more of in your diet. So you do want saturated fats in your diet, which come from meats, right? And cheeses and meats and butters and stuff like that. You want unsaturated fats, which come from avocados, nuts, seeds, fish, olives, olive oil, all those kind of stuff. And that stuff I don't see you eat often. I mean, you spray the pan with olive oil, but then you cook it down on the highest heat and you probably burn it all. But I don't think you don't eat any fish. And if you do, it's like once, maybe every couple months.
So give me an example. So how can you're going to be the one cooking it, but how do I incorporate more of these things? Cause I like salmon. I can't have whitefish. I do break out in hives. I noticed that.
Yeah, but salmon, sardines, and anchovies are probably the best sources that you can get. Well, if you were to incorporate salmon, anchovies, or sardines 3 times a week, I think that would help bring your HDL up a lot too. And that'll also help fill the fat allotment that you have for the day. Yeah, like 2-3 times a week I think would be really beneficial. But then all the other times too, like it would be really healthy for you to start getting some avocado in there and nuts and seeds too.
And I talk about it all the time.
You get trapped in one food only.
Because it's easy. It's easy,
Sure.
It's quick, I can do efficiently, and I can keep myself, again, looking and feeling primed up for whatever.
Yeah.
So these are extra things that now I have to elevate it.
Guys, it's not like we don't have these foods in the house because they're in the house.
You eat them.
I eat them. I mean, I have jars of olives in the fridge that I'll just open and have like 5 olives at a time while I'm cooking something.
So is it safe to say you can have a salad every day with sardines, olives, and
maybe some like pumpkin seeds on it or salmon? You know, like you could even get like the canned salmon. If you need a quick meal, like that's fine. If it's a nice organic, like, or a wild caught salmon.
We've been talking about transformation a lot past couple episodes, and this is a physical transformation. I always felt like as long as your body fat is healthy, as long as you're exercising, and as long as you have cardio in your workout routine.
There's some truth to that.
Right. But you can't just stick to 5 different foods.
No.
You need these other foods and I'm noticing that now. I'm doing this, I'm 45 years old. Now it's more important as you get older to incorporate these extra foods into your diet.
Absolutely.
As well as keep your body fat down to a healthy limit so you can process these foods. Your metabolism is efficient, your muscles are strong, and it all goes together. But the further along you get in your fitness journey, your wellness journey, you're going to need to start incorporating more of these different type of foods. And this is good because you do a great job of that. And I get I get boxed in to something that's easy. My favorite meal is a banana and peanut butter, like a favorite pre-workout. I love the way it tastes.
And it's not a bad thing at all.
No, but you're saying that berries, you said berries are better because it has antioxidants in it, and it's a slower
well, it's lower on the glycemic index. It's
index.
Lower sugar count than a banana is. Although bananas are good. I'm not saying bananas are bad, but again, if you're always eating just the same thing every day, all day, and not adding variety, I don't think that's good either. Now, I'm also in the same mindset where like maybe you stick to the same foods for a week, but then next week you change it up completely. And that's to give yourself mentally some variety, but also the nutrients in your body some variety too.
All right. So what's one thing that somebody can do out there who first of all, get your blood taken every year?
Definitely get your blood tested.
Would you do it every 6 months as you get older?
I don't think it's necessary unless you have red flags.
Okay.
If you have red flags, definitely keep your finger on the pulse for sure. But like for you, I would retest you in 6 months personally, just because you spiked up so much in 2 years that I would want to see like if we really, get disciplined and like really make these changes, what it does in 6 months. Because I'm very confident that in 6 months you'll be fine.
Okay.
Because I've seen it happen with people who have no background in this lifestyle, completely change their cholesterol in 3 months. 3 months, that's it. So for somebody like us who already have lived this lifestyle and know it and just need to like put it back here and like really live it out every day, in 6 months, I think you'll be totally fine.
So wild, because I asked you about a few people here who I know that are men that are older than me, and they're not in the best of shape, and that's why they're here. They're getting healthy. But I asked you because you talk to them more on the fitness and metabolic side, how they're doing with
they're fine with their cholesterol.
And their numbers are perfect cholesterol, perfect blood pressure. And I'm like, what's going on? How come I'm doing all these things, but it's still not adding up to being the perfect ideal health? So big stuff, guys. We're going to keep you posted. I'm going to keep documenting this, keep talking about it, and, follow us on all the social channels because that's where I'm going to be posting the day-to-day stuff, my meals, how I'm changing my meals up. Karen, I'll be interviewing Karen and just, asking her to help me with cooking my meals.
Wait a second.
What?
Asking her to help. I cook all the meals in the house. You cook all of
my meals. Yeah.
Except your breakfast. That's the only thing you're responsible for.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. You just got to eat it.
Find yourself a good woman and let her cook meals for you. Just kidding. Just kidding.
There's nothing wrong with that if somebody wants to find that. And I like doing that. I love cooking. I have a cookbook out for this purpose, right? To help people cook healthy meals.
That was a shame. That was a weird plug right there, but go for it.
I didn't mean to, but listen, I love cooking. So I used to cook for clients too. So you can get my Meal Prep Made Simple book if you just follow me on Instagram. It's the link in my bio.
Oh, see how simple? Yeah, that's perfect. How come I got to get better at that? So I'm going to say follow me on Instagram at Anthony Monetti, ANTHONY MONETTI, and Karen.
I'm Karen dash. Is it underscore?
Underscore.
Karen underscore Monetti.
And also collectively, we have a business called Body, and it's BODHI. But you can follow us on Instagram at This Is BODHI. And yeah, keep us in the loop with what you have going on. If you have any questions about this stuff, I'm openly sharing my personal journey with you and asking Karen for help along the way. So thank you guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. For more information, visit our website at thisisbody.com. That's thisisbodhi.com.